People sometimes ask me why all this focus on growth and transformation, and doesn't it ever get exhausting? Do we ever get to take a break from this rigor and this exploration and all this noticing? And yes, of course, take breaks as needed, and also recognize that however we're relating in this present moment is creating a future. We're constantly creating the future. Now, if you can imagine a visual, and let's say there's a circle right here in this moment, this is where you are in the present. If in this present moment, you are operating off all of your automatic behaviors, your reactions, your past assumptions, your past expectations of yourself and other people, whatever limiting beliefs you have about what you can and can't do, who other people are and who they aren't, what's possible and not possible in your business, all of those assumptions and expectations generate a default future. It's a future that looks a lot like the past. It might be tweaked in tiny little ways because now you learned a tool or you are trying something new, and the attitudes and the beliefs that all of those activities are coming from generate the same future. It's the default future. It's what's going to happen anyway. And oftentimes we get stuck in another version of the past. Now, maybe it's version 2.0, but it's still the past. And what I mean by that is we inadvertently recreate the past in our relationships, at home, at work, in our communities, because our way of relating, our way of seeing ourselves and circumstances and other people hasn't really shifted that much. We're still seeing through the same lens or the same set of glasses that we have been for 10 years or 20 years or more. They're not new. They don't invite risk. They haven't challenged any existing assumptions. It's just another version of the past in the present, but it's still the past. For example, let's say that at some point in your life, if you're like everyone else, you've been betrayed. There's been a breach of trust. And in that breach of trust, you've made certain decisions about other people, about what's possible and not possible. And you've decided people are not trustworthy unless they prove it, unless they give me a reason to trust them. Or you might say to yourself, I'm just going to trust everybody until they give me a reason not to. Notice that both of those are going to create a certain blindness to who and what is actually present because you've pre-decided. Notice where you've pre-decided about trust, about your own abilities, about other people's intentions or motivations, or your own intentions or motivations. And wherever you've pre-decided, you're in default mode. You've created an automatic cycle that is going to be playing out again and again. Maybe different flavors, but definitely the same ice cream here. What is it that you're automatically creating if you're not intentionally present in the moment and challenging the assumptions right now? Most of us don't challenge our assumptions because we don't even notice them as assumptions. They seem like, well, this is how it is. This is how I am. This is how they are. And those are great places to start. What am I already saying to myself, about how I am, or about the other person, about how they are, or about the situation, about how it just is, it is what it is. Maybe this bench that truth sits on is wider than I think. Instead of being stuck in the past, instead of being trapped in a pattern or an existing belief, where can I take a breath and pause and challenge some existing assumptions about myself or other people or circumstances to see where there's resource. Where have I decided something's not possible? And where can I revisit it? Where can I say, well, what if it were possible? What questions could I ask? Who could I become in this moment to create a generative future that is actually inventing and building something new, something aligned with a picture of the future that produces passion in me? Pick a relationship that you are most certain. It could be your spouse, it could be a good friend, could be your mom or dad or sibling, your coworker, your boss, that you're most certain about who this person is and who they aren't. And allow yourself to hold all those assumptions lightly? What if instead of a predictable response, they gave you a new response? What if something has shifted and you haven't been paying attention? What would it look like to hold all of that lightly in the context of a generative future, of something possible, something new that has never been before, that you believe is available in this moment? So many of the videos in my library can relate to this exact topic, so feel free to pick one and see what else opens up for you. Listen, the future's coming anyhow. You might as well create something worth having. If this was helpful for you, like, subscribe, make a comment, and here's a few of those videos I suggested earlier.